This episode is sponsored by
My Local CFO, helping you build stronger growth by connecting your financial picture to your operational goals. Follow them on Facebook and LinkedIn at My Local CFO or visit their website at www.mylocalcfo.com.
Hey, it's the More Than I Do podcast with Sherelle
and Derek.
We're super excited to be back with you for season 2. Season 2, babe.
Yeah, I can't believe it. These seasons are just flying by.
They are just flying by. But not only are they flying by, season 2, we have something special. This season, we're talking about
getting back to the basics.
Absolutely, getting back to the basics. And we're going to start out today with a wonderful guest that we're so excited to bring to you. There are two people that we love and hold near and dear to our hearts. And let me just tell you, their food is amazing.
Dynamite.
They are a couple in business.
Yes, they are. And so we're going to chat with them about being a couple in business and staying healthy and connecting around food.
Yeah. So stay tuned. We've got Precious Jewel and Jay White coming up next.
Of Indulge Catering.
Are you looking for healthy, flavorful dishes that astonish and delight, all while using fresh, locally sourced ingredients? Then elevate your palate. One bite, one plate, one meal at a time with Indulge Catering, LLC. Awarded the title of Best Caterer of 2020 in the Durham Magazine's Reader's Choice Awards. Indulge Catering takes care of every culinary detail, giving you a VIP experience with their signature white glove service, known as an indulgent experience. That's superior cuisine and amazing service. Black-owned, veteran-owned, woman-owned, and operated. I challenge you to elevate your palate and indulge with Indulge Catering LLC. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Indulge Catering NC. Visit them on their website for their services as well as their spices at www.indulgecatering.com. All right, we are back with Queen Precious Jewel and Jay White. How are you doing?
Welcome.
Hi. We are wonderful. How are y'all doing?
We are doing well. We're so glad to have you with us tonight and can't wait to just get into this thing. You know, we've known you guys for a long time now, years.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
We watched your company and your company grow and your relationship blossom even more. And I just want to get right into this thing. How about you, babe?
Yeah. I'm ready to hear what they have to say because, you know, I have something to say, but I want to hear what you have to say.
So tell us first, how long have you been married and how long have you been in business?
Oh my gosh. We've been married for 8 years.
8 years.
We just celebrated our 8th anniversary in October.
In October, 10, 11, 12, we got married.
But we've been together 13 years.
Yes.
That's amazing years.
Yes.
And we've been in business together for 6 years.
6 years we've been in business.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I know that we just saw a commercial for Indulge Catering, but in your words, tell us a little bit about why Indulge Catering.
Oh my gosh. Because Indulge Catering, we provide you with a white glove service, right? So we handle everything from the start to the finish, till you take that bite of food, right? So we want you to feel like family at Indulge Catering.
Yes.
You know, so once you contact us, we do those soft touches. You know, we give you a phone call to see what your vision is. And then we plan your vision out from step A to step Z. Yes. And provide you with flavor bombs.
Yes.
Flavor bombs. Wait a minute. Flavor bombs.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's what we want you to have. We want, when you taste our food, for you to be like, well, I thought I didn't like Brussels sprouts, but I'm now only eating yours, and I'm stalking you when you make the Brussels sprouts. So yes, we pride ourselves on really just having that what the heck did I just eat moment? Like that's what we want. And that's what we want. That's why we say indulge is an experience. So, just the word indulge makes you feel some sort of way. You're like, ooh, I'm indulging today. But that's how we want you to feel with the food. We want you to be like, yeah, I'm sitting at her table. Yes, she's cooking for me. I felt her stir the pot. Or what they say, you put that foot in it. She wants I want you to feel all of that. So
I want to go back to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I want to go back to that word experience. And before we continue on talking about indulge, I want to backtrack just a little bit to marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And our show is called More Than I Do.
Mm-hmm.
And because when you're walking down the aisle and you're committing yourself, you've got a kind of an idea, right? And this season is about getting back to the basics. So I want to go back to just that moment of what you guys thought marriage was going to be, and then what you realize marriage really is.
I had no idea of what marriage was going to be. I had no expectations, right? The only expectation I had was she was going to love me unconditional, all of those vowy stuff. Yeah, right? That's life, but it's not real. Those vows don't make a marriage.
Not at
right?
all.
The two people that are in the marriage make the marriage work. But the one thing that I did have was I felt like I was going to gain this responsibility to be able to provide for my family, this responsibility of we're going to grow together. Yeah. We're going to grow together, and I have to be one part that makes us grow further, Yeah. So that's what I had, the responsibility.
That was her responsibility. Me, so marriage is weird for me because for me, I have such strong females in my life that have either been single parents or have been the dominant of the parent figure. So for me, marriage wasn't necessarily like I wanted to get married, but I didn't know what it looked like. And so like I saw myself with kids. I always just say I'm always have kids and have a rocking chair and have a porch and watch the great grandkids. And for me, when I knew it was real with her, I had a dream where she was in my dream sitting in the other rocking chair.
Oh wow.
So so for me it's different. For me it was I knew I would get older, I knew I would have kids, but I didn't know what this other part would be. I would just raise my kids. That middle. And I met her when I first met her. For me, it was really wow and love at first sight. And then we began to date and we began to everything. And like I said, I got to a point where I was like, I really see myself with you in the future. I see a future with us. And we won't go fully into all them conversations we've had together.
I don't know. I'm sure there were some good conversations.
Yeah, we didn't have the same vision. Like at first she was like, yeah, all right, but I'm not trying to get married ever. And I was like, well, we got a problem. We got a problem. And for me, it was like, if you're dating somebody, then after a certain amount of years, you should know whether or not you're going to get married. And I gave her that 5-year, like, yo, in 5 years, we either going to do this thing or I'm out. And I think you brought it down to the wire.
It was the wire.
It was the wire.
Hold off as long as you can, right?
It was. Like I didn't have to say we at the time, but she kind of was like, "You want to get married?" And I was like, "Yeah, well, yeah. Actually, I do. Let's do it."
Sounds like a plan.
It works.
So what expectations did you have getting married? And just thinking, just whatever you knew about marriage and kind of what you knew from a mate. And I know you said you really have any expectations of whether to get married or not, Jay. But getting married, what was some ahas that you were like, oh, that works that way?
Ooh, ahas.
With bills and money. But in a sense of, you have money and you have combined bills, but you don't really understand what a combined lifelong bill is until you start talking taxes and rent and mortgages and health insurance, and you start thinking about stuff like that. Then that's like, wait, it's not like when you were dating and you was a roommate and you might be a little short on your light bill and you'd be like, baby, can I get $20 for my light bill? It don't work like that. The expectation is you pay the bill. It's not that conversation like that.
As far as what, like, it's not a this is your money, this is my money.
Not in our household.
Not in our household. It's all one pot, and everything comes out that one pot.
Yes.
That was
That was
but communication is a aha, right? So I think earlier on with dating and I guess this is marriage. This is I do. So earlier on in the marriage, you still are skating around each other. You still have like your own thoughts and your own feelings and all of that, right? And you keep them bottled up. But the further you go into marriage, you realize it's best to speak upon those things. As soon as they hit your head, and some people would call that communication, right? So as soon as they hit your head, you need to talk about it, because we've learned that sometimes we have the same anxiety about the same things, the same stress about the same things. But if you skirt around it, that causes friction and tension. When y'all talk about it, you realize y'all was thinking the same thing.
Exactly.
And y'all could have got to point Z faster, by just talking about it.
Yeah.
Without all the stress.
And the anxiety.
Yes,
just gone.
Yes. We've definitely, and in the beginning, you don't think that way, because you're always, before you get married, it was all about self. But you totally, after marriage, have to think about the other person first, and I know for me personally, I now think about, well, Jay, what are you doing? We all look at our partner and be like, well, they're doing this, they're doing that, they're doing this, right? But in that situation, I have totally changed the way I think and say, okay, Jay, look at what you're doing, or how you're doing it, how you're saying it, and think about the other person's thoughts and concerns, right? And say, well, dang, I know I've been doing it this way, 1, 2, 3, and they're saying do it 3, 2, 1, and see how it works. Like just do it, like for real. Like curbing that mental, your thoughts, and just considering the other person's thoughts, like it works.
Can I make y'all laugh? I know I had it.
Say what?
I would say it's mind blowing that somebody else's idea could actually work, and it's totally different. That's imagine that.
Amazing. It's mind blowing.
It's an amazing thing, but I tell you, I know I did have the expectation of that whole happy wife, happy life type situation.
Okay.
And and for me, it was really funny because I had an aha moment that, well, she's my wife too. I'm not just the wife, she's my wife too.
Yeah, that's right.
Happy wife. It's like,
right.
And it's how both ways, Yeah, it works both ways. And I'll be like, what you mean no? Why you tell me no? She's like, well, because I gotta tell you no sometimes. I'm like, but I don't think that's how that works. You're supposed to always tell me yes.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't work that way. I used to say the same thing, happy wife, happy life. But the reality is a little piece of me was dying on the inside because it was all about her.
Yes.
And
Yes,
so
yes.
I totally get that.
And that was an
Yeah.
argument for us, believe it or not, because I don't believe in happy wife, happy life, because I know that the other one is then not being totally honest with themselves of what their needs are. And if you love the other person, like you realize your aha is, I love this other person and they need to be happy too. And I want to make sure that their needs are being met as well. And so, and I used to tell him, no, it's not happy wife, happy life. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You know, and I'm like, but no, I'm going to love you regardless. I'm going to make sure you're happy regardless. And it sounds like a funny argument to have, but
yeah, it's one that we had.
But that's how we grew
But
up.
listen, but that's a real argument. We for us it was the great bacon debate. So we always laugh. People say y'all don't argue. No. We do, but we've learned how to.
We have discussions.
We have discussions now.
Yes. We have discussions.
Yes. And so when we first started dating, it's the great bacon debate. That's what we always used to call it. And it's because I'm Muslim. I don't eat pork. She converted to no pork. So when we first started dating, we always debate on whose house this really happened in because it's been so long. But we had the biggest argument because we didn't talk about why the pork was such a big deal to me. It was just expectation. I don't eat pork. You shouldn't have it around me. Just know that's what it is. And so she would sneak and have her.
No, I wouldn't sneak. It was my house. It was my house, and I was warming up a sandwich that had bacon on it. And we were in my kitchen, and she was like, "Are you cooking pork?"
I went from 0 to 7,000 real fast. Yeah, I 0 to 7,000.
So that was our first argument. Yeah. But let it be known, it was my house, Sherelle. It was my house.
But it helped our communication because she realized that it was more than just the religious thing. It was the smell. It was I've never had it. So it was like it opened up this big communication, but it also helped me to realize that you can't go from 0 to 1,000. There's a couple of steps in between. Y'all have to have a conversation about. So that also helped us on our communication because it was like, oh, I gotta talk to you. You're not in my head. The conversation can't begin in my head. You get the middle. And you know, she for now, forever, she goes, can you start that again outside your head? And I go,
can we start again?
We didn't have that call.
I love that statement. I might have to steal that statement from you, Jay. I love that.
It works. It snaps me back real fast.
You know what? No, you don't. Because I try not to have those conversations in my head anymore.
You are better.
I am much better.
He's much better. But he'll start a sentence. Like he called me the other day, and it was something that was just on his mind and his heart. And he started in the middle of whatever conversation he had in his head and expected me to just be there. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to need you to back up.
You know, we've been married 16 years now. Somehow I expect her to already be part of the conversation.
Read the mind.
She reads my mind, I think, sometimes.
Yes.
But it goes on and off. Sometimes we don't have control of when it comes on.
Well, that's true. That's true.
But I say this because you guys bring up a very important point, and I want to make sure that for our audience that they get this point, and that is number one, it's not all about you, especially in a relationship, because it takes two to tango. And then add kids in the mix or, that type of thing. It's definitely not all about you. Definitely you need to be taken care of, but everyone in the relationship needs to be taken care of. That's right. But that second point that you talked about in communication, because communication is a huge thing and there's a lot of things that are involved in that, right? But you talked about being truthful and honest and having the conversation, and letting the other person know. And I think that that's a big piece in marriages in general, but relationships overall, that we have it up here, and this in our mind, up here in our mind is the most dangerous place you can have a conversation, because it just bounces around and it gets worse as you go around and around and around. But as soon as you have you get to a reason why, a core of what's really happening, understanding where the other person is coming from, that type of thing. I don't know for me, but that was huge for us in just putting ourselves in the other person's shoes once the other person showed us what their shoes or their steps look like.
Yeah, you know, and for me, when we got married, you know, it was a trust thing, right? Like I knew I trusted her, but did I really trust her with my inner thoughts or whatever I'm really thinking? If I say this, will she be like, do I really love this guy? Or, you know, and so
it's being vulnerable. That vulnerability, I guess that's what it is.
That's what it is.
Being vulnerable with your mate and trusting. I think trust has to be there anyway. Period. You shouldn't be married if you don't trust.
That's right.
What are you guys' opinions on this?
We agree. Like we are still learning stuff about each other on the daily. And the hardest part has always been that trust. So there's things that we have that are triggers for us that we haven't had that conversation before. And we didn't realize that we haven't had that conversation. Like we had a kids conversation, but we didn't really have a full children conversation. Like it's a different conversation to say, hey, do you want to have kids? Yes or no. It's a different conversation. Well, if your child spills milk, how do you discipline said child? That's a trigger. And that's the thing, even down to like how you raise your dog, how you open the door for another person. We had a conversation about hair, and I am the oldest of 6. So I understand about braiding hair, combing hair, parting hair when it's wash day. She's the oldest, I call her the oldest only child. She has siblings, but the way she was grown up, she's an only child. So she didn't understand how to part hair. She didn't understand rubber bands. And I was like, what you mean you don't know about no rubber bands? And I said, oh, snap. We've never had this conversation.
Yeah.
So here we are. I'm sitting down ready to get my hair braided. And she's like, I don't know what the heck to do. And I was like, it took me aback. You know?
You don't know how to part.
I'm like, you ain't gonna part nobody's hair before? She's like, no. I was like, oh.
And thanks to 2020, you know, thanks to COVID, I'm now a certified salon tech or beautician or whatever you want to call it. Pedicurist, manicurist. Yes.
You can come work at Snipping Cuts, Jay. Me and my sister, when we're in the bathroom and doing each other's hair, that's called snipping cuts. You can be out snipping cuts.
I told her to cut my edges, and she was like, "What?" But we've laughed because those conversations, they never came up. But it goes back to what you were saying about having those true deep conversations about what's really deeply in, and also that trust issue, because we realize that it's time to have deeper conversations that will trigger the trust. Do I trust you to tell you how I grew up, but how I grew up? You know what I'm saying?
And I say all the time, like someone asked me, what's the best thing about being married, right? And my favorite thing is that there's no judgment zone. There's no judgment.
Just love. It's supposed to be just love, right? I'm gonna love you through it regardless.
Yes. I can tell my wife anything. I can tell her anything, and I do not have to worry about her judging me. That is the best thing, because nobody wants to be judged, right? And you should never be judged in your household, whether it be your children or your spouse, whatever. But in your household, in your Zen place, in your peace place, this should be your peace, you know? So I'm totally for that. No judgment. Being the best, one of the best things.
But I tease all the time. I'll be like, I'm gonna judge you.
Yes, you know, I'm a judge.
I'm judging you. I'm judging. I won't tell nobody else outside the house I'm judging you.
Right.
I'm judging you. Exactly. I'm a judge. Now, nobody else better not, but I'm a judge.
That's right.
I earned this right over here. Look.
That's right. That's right. But you got to be able to laugh at each other and laugh at yourself. You really do. I mean, that's part of life. And there's a time that I think we were just too serious. With and no one was having fun because we were just too serious with life, right? And when we learn to just laugh, he'll fuss for no reason. He's just an old man and fusses for no reason. And I'll look at him and say, well, why are you fussing? And he'll look at himself and say, I don't know. And we'll both bust out laughing. You know, you understand this is just who I am. Take me and love me for it, period. No judgment.
This is it. We laugh. It's the when you come from work, because you gotta you have a certain face at work. At the job, we are the CEO and the COO. We are the executive chef. We are the sous chef. We are the managers. We are the this, we are this. But when we come through the door and we come home and there's no more phone, it's us. I am Queen. This is Jay. We are wives. We are partners. We are Pumpernickel's parents because that's the dog. His name is Pumpernickel. And he don't care nothing about what happened other than his bowl is full. And we can sit down and pet him.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's all it is. You have each other. And you have to be able to be happy in not just your skin, but in your home.
Yes.
If you're not happy in your home, then it's a reevaluation time. It's definitely a reevaluation time.
I love that. Reevaluation. If you're not happy in the home, we need to reevaluate some stuff and maybe have some conversations because someone's got to be truthful, right?
Yeah.
Something's happening. Something's something has gone awry somewhere because you got married. You were happy when you got married. Something has gone awry. So you talked about going to work. Let's transition to now, how did you guys decide, all right, we're married. We figured this thing out. Now let's go into business together.
Yeah.
Well, it went back to the her never telling me no thing. Yeah. So what happened was I came home. I was working in corporate America. I came home and I told her I want to start a catering company. These people want to pay me. I want to start a catering company. No, I want to cook for people. I want to start a catering company. And she said, well, how much they pay? Because what we're not going to do is you're not going to keep making food for all these people for free. I was like, well, I don't know if they're going to pay. No, they're going to pay you. You tell them to pay you. And so the crazy thing that people don't know about us is I was still working in corporate America for the first 3 years. 3 years of Indulge. 2-3 years. We got married. So we had our marriage on 10, 11, 12. Then we got married. We had a ceremony, wedding ceremony in front of everybody, 4/12/13. She started school the next day.
Oh, wow.
So she started school the next day. And then she also started Indulge Catering. She started working in the business.
Wow.
So what would happen is she would go to school. I would go to work. I would leave work. She would pick me up. We would go to the kitchen. We would cook for events. We would sometimes stay overnight. I would go straight back to work. So for 3 years, we had this cycle. And she graduated from school. And the moment she graduated from school, we got some of the biggest contracts. So she never actually used her degree. So there was no, so let's talk about, are we going to go to business together? It was, we in business together. This is what it is. This is what we doing. And that's it.
And that's how it started. Yep. She came home and said she wanted to start a catering company. And I said, yes. Okay. Let's do it.
Let's do it. I don't know what that means, but let's do it. And we did pray upon it, though. We did pray about it. And one of our first contracts, they asked, they wanted to do a female company. They heard about us from our personal trainer. And they was like, hey, if you can get all the paperwork you need, we'll hire you. And we prayed upon it. And literally, it took us about 24 hours to do what would normally take over months to do, as far as getting our kitchen, getting our permits, getting everything.
Let me tell you, God's favor on us is amazing.
Yes.
Ain't nothing like God's favor.
Yes. When you say something's a blessed journey.
I'm on that one. Look, amen.
Amen.
You know this. And when we say this is a blessed journey, we really do pray upon everything. In our marriage, in our business, any decisions we make, because it is. And we walk by faith, both in the marriage and the business, and they intertwine and do all of this together.
Right.
Owning a business will strengthen your faith like my faith is strong. I got strong.
So the faith and the deck in our couch is very strong. Because when he be like, sit, I'm working on some things, we be like, you sure? We're going to see.
We're going to see it.
We're going to see it.
Okay.
I hope so. But yes, you got it.
Yeah.
But, that's the first story. That's the beginning of it.
So this is the same question that I asked in marriage. I want to know this in business. So you kind of were thrust into business. not happenstance because you said, hey, I'm cooking this food, I want to cook, that type of thing, but it just kind of took off on its own. Now, being that you go to work together and you come home together, what are some things that you guys had to figure out that in the beginning was like, this ain't gonna work?
Wait, asterisk, therapy.
Yes.
Oh,
Therapy. We went to therapy. We went to therapy because she had to learn to tell me no. And I had to understand expectations, realistic expectations of my
favorite word.
Yes, of my wife versus my business partner.
Yeah.
There's two different things. And we had to understand the realistic expectations that this was my baby solely in the beginning. She worked it. So it was a job. So one of the things
it was support.
It was support. Excuse me. She right. That's the right word.
It was support. I was supporting.
She was supporting
her.
me. Yes. Yes.
In your dream.
In
the dream that you had.
She had to support it. So the thing that the therapist helped us understand was I went to work for 8 hours on a whole nother job. I came home and then I was expecting her to report to me and then work another 8 hours in our business. She already been working 8 hours while I was at the other job. So I was expecting her to do 16 hours to my 8. And I didn't understand why she wasn't working. And the therapist was like, that's not how this works. You know?
The therapist said, first of all, I tell her yes all the time. All the time. She said, I need to learn how to say no. No. It goes back to that how each one of us feels matters. You know, it's not a happy wife, happy life, No, both of us have to be healthy and strong in this thing.
Yes.
You know, to make the business work, to make the marriage work.
Yes.
You know?
And I had to accept her no. And that's hard. Because I really sometimes even now be like, wait, so are you really saying no? Is that a real no? Or is that just a no?
No, or do we have negotiations?
Oh my God. Testing the boundaries all the time. Testing the boundaries.
I didn't know real no's, you know, and she's good. Like sometimes she'd be like, well, not right now. And I'm like,
yeah, I have to curb my words.
Oh, you got me.
In one of our communication sessions, you know, she said to me, it's the way that she may pitch an idea to me and I come off and I'll be like, no, right? And so I had to do that self-reflect and say, okay, Jay, look at yourself. If someone shut down your idea at the door, you know, how would you feel? So I had to implement the fact of, okay, give me a moment to think about it.
Right. So
let me process.
Let you process. That's a good, I want to stop there for a second because I think that's something else that our audience could definitely take away because the same thing happens here. He's a processor. Like I'm like this. You know, this is me. I'm on the go. I can make a decision really quick, see the scenarios really quick and decide which way I'm going. He comes back 3 weeks later with a conversation. So I thought about it and I'm like, dude, I'm on to the next. That's already and that could cause a rift in the business as well as in the marriage because not everything, especially in business, some things you have to make a quick decision on. And some things you can take time because sometimes opportunity comes, you just gotta go. It may not be prepared, wasn't even in your line of sight, but you just need to go. And that's something that we had to learn is I love him because he processes. He loves me because I make quick decisions. And together we can balance each other out as long as we understand how to respond to not shut the other one down.
Yeah, I remember once we got married, my mother sat her down and said, hey, look, if he tells you he's going to do it, he's going to do it. However, it might not be done in the time that you want it done, but he's going to eventually get to it and get it done.
Yes.
Because like you said, I am a processor. I was having a conversation with her brother yesterday, and we were in the kitchen talking. And 15 minutes later, I asked him a follow-up question to that 15 minutes conversation. And he was like, whoa.
He's like, that was so long ago. You still on that? and just, but that goes back to, you're not the same individual. You're not the same individual in marriage, and you're not the same individual in business. Now, let me ask you this question. Have you guys found that you learned more about each other working with each other than you would just being married?
Oh, yes. Oh, my gracious, yes. I found out that I would like to believe she found out that I'm stronger than I'm stronger than sometimes I may portray, but also I know how to fall back. I know how to let her do and be. And so, but that also comes upon the roles. Like, once we figured out our roles in the business, then I can fall back because I trust that she could do the thing that she's supposed to do. Yeah. And then we good. You know, so I think that helped me as well, like the business. And then that helped us in the marriage, because then I know that I can trust that she's going to do the things that I don't even have to say, because I know that they fell on her plate. She took it and she's good. And I don't have to double check with her. I can let it be. And I know she took care of it because I see that she could do it. I know she could do it. And I trust that she could do it on both spots. What about for you?
I don't think of course, there's some things I learned about her through business and working with her. But I don't think I learned most things about her through the business. No, I think definitely being her wife, I've learned more about her.
I get that. I want to in the time that we have left, I want to talk a little bit about food. Staying healthy and connecting through food, because this is your guys' area now. And I know that you call yourselves caterers, but you also do traveling chefs. You're traveling chefs. You also do personal chef services, as well as then the catering services that you have as well. So, and we talked about having indulgent experiences, which I know I've been a part of them. You've been a part of them. We are very big fans, and we know it is a high quality, not what you think you're going to get. All kinds of foods that you can't pronounce and never ever thought you was going to see, but they turn out so good, and it just adds to the atmosphere of whatever's happening.
Yeah, and I'm interested in, I'm an aspiring chef myself. I'm an aspiring chef myself. So, tell us about some of the things that you guys have been doing during this time, and that we can share with our audience, and things that I can try, especially on date night.
Let me tell y'all a lot. Okay, so the history, a little bit more about the history, and then because it plays into this. So I'm a bariatric patient. So I had weight loss surgery 8 years ago. 2012. There you go. She's my also my Rolodex, because my brain, I'm like, I don't know. She can tell you what you had on like 13 years ago.
Well, she didn't blink. She was like on it.
That's how she works.
She read the mind.
This is her. I be like, babe, I tell anybody, we meet anybody, I be like, talk to Jay. If you talk to Jay, she'll remind me. If you tell me, it's out the door. Done. But I'm a bariatric patient. So I really the struggle became with losing weight, staying healthy, and keeping my fooding. So keeping that sense of taste. Because as y'all know, in the African American community, food is a big deal. We break bread and we make major decisions, Thanksgiving and food and family and Big Mama's house and all that good stuff. But we also kill ourselves with the type of food that we eat, with the butters and the fats and everything of that nature. So when I had the surgery, they kept saying use bland, unsalted, boiled chicken until it's dead and only drink the water. I said, no. I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it. And so I was like, there's got to be a way I can still have my good food and it be good and it be good for you. And so that's really also a big driving factor behind Indulge Catering. It is allowing my brain to have and see and find recipes and look at or taste the most craziest foods, the most indulgent foods, and make it healthy, but still indulgent. So that's why it's that flavor bomb. That's why it's that, because it's my brain going, can I do it? But at the same time, it's her. She's my taste tester. I give her something and she'd be like, you could do better. Go back in the kitchen. You could do better. And I'd be like, did you just challenge me? Oh, no. We got to do this again. But that's what we've been up to. So that's every Sunday we do Cooking at Home with Queen and Jay. It's where we invite you to our kitchen and I come up with some really kooky, crazy stuff that I want to cook that I'm just like, hey, watch me cook it. And if you like it, great. But enjoy the conversation. Come on with us, talk to us. You know, that's what we want people to do, because we want you to understand. We want to bring food and love and dancing and cooking and understand that you can have these really good food. You can eat barramundi fish. People's like, barra what? And I'm like, go into the grocery store. There's more stuff than tilapia and mahi and salmon. There's a whole ocean of fish. Find something, try something, you know.
But what we've done is brought the flavor bombs home.
Yes, home to you.
To your home with our indulgent essential spices.
Yes.
Wow. We have everything.
Yeah, so we started a spice line.
We started a spice line. But it's a year. We've been doing it a year or so now, right? And we also have a jerk seasoning, right? Yes. So you can purchase them on our website, right? And cook at home with your loved ones and prepare healthy, flavorful flavor bombs at home now, right?
You can also purchase it directly from our Facebook and Instagram site. So one of the cool things is that we really opened up the shop on our social media, that you just shop right from there. And we ship it out to you. We're also looking to be domestic and international condiment purveyors.
I love it. I love it. Awesome. But you just kind of gave a tip, even though you're talking about your business, as we're talking about businesses that may be in the food industry, social media vendoring. Being able to open up those sites. And so I think for our audience, it's something that if you're in an industry that allows that, that's something that to take care of, that not just count on the website to do everything for you, but make social media work for you as well. That's right. You talked about, I want to get to this connecting with food, because I know that the food that you guys make, and even with your spices, you're not looking for people just to be hungry and eat.
No,
you're looking for the connections and the experience that they're having around their kitchen tables. Tell us a little bit about why that's important and what does that mean?
Because we lost that. So many times people lose that. We eat we eat to live in the wrong way, where we're like, oh, I guess I gotta put some food in my body or else I'm a faint. Versus saying, well, what are you putting in your body? And not meaning in the healthy way, in the sense of, are you only eating green leafy greens, you know? But more so like, okay, so you ate that, but what did you season it with? So like our spices are gluten-free and they're vegan, all those key words, but it means more to me than that. It's because I tell you my spice has turmeric, cumin, rosemary, and basil. And when you taste it, I want you to taste the turmeric, cumin, rosemary, and basil, because I want you to be like, ooh, well, what spice is that? Oh, that tastes familiar. Or, you know, if you talk to your elders about how they cooked, they tell you they might have grabbed something out of the garden and rubbed it between their fingers and they smelt it and they tasted and they knew it would taste good on some chicken. They knew it would taste good on some fish or that vegetable right there. That's the same oomph I want you to get when you smell our spices. Like when you open up that freshness seal and you smell it, you go, ooh, you know what, I can put this on? That's what I want you to have. That you know what, I could put this on. That's what we want. That's why we say Indulge Catering is an experience, because we want you to experience us. So when you hire us to your event, we want to talk to you. We want to know what is your vision for your event? Not just, can you feed them? Because we cook. I can give you a pan of food in a heartbeat. But it's more so I want to know, when they eat your food, they come away and they go, oh, we danced and we ate and we, girl, ooh, we were just happy. That's what we want. And we want when you come and watch us on Sundays that you talk to us. Girl, what you putting in that pot? Let me tell you what I'm putting in this pot. I'm putting this. Why you use that oil? Because I that's the best tasting oil right there. You know, it's those type of conversations that we want to have with food and with talking with people and connections. And, you know, we go into the grocery store now, even with the mask on, and we'll see people staring at a case. And I'm like, what you about to make? Oh, I'm about to make this. Ooh, you know what you should try? You should go try this on aisle 7 and go put that on. And they were like, you work here? No, I'm just in here all the time. But aisle 7 is what you need. You know, that's the type of connection, because we're losing that. We're losing that between humanity, people, food, all that good stuff. We're losing that. And we want you to still, even if I got to do it through the screen, feel like you here with me when I'm stirring this pot. So yeah, that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, I love that. I love that, and that just ties in back to the basics, really, because, you know, even though we're in a very challenging time now, you know, being virtual allows you to be home with family more and to connect again and connect with family. I mean, we've lived in this community our entire marriage, and I've seen more people or families walking together, riding bikes together. And that just warms my heart, because
it's beautiful.
Back to the basics is getting back to family and the community, right? And also you talked about back to the basics in your business, because you know what your business is, and now you've been able to open up to the world. Social media is the world, not just the market that you're in now. And so even though we're in challenging times, there's always a silver lining within any challenge. And I think business owners such as yourself and others are growing their families now, connecting with their families and growing their businesses the right way now.
The right way.
And also using food to virtually connect with family. Still that bond and still that connecting, right? Because we can make the same dish or have conversations or different things like that, sharing recipes and all of that kind of stuff. Look, we could talk forever. And I know, you know, when we get together, it's hours. It's hours. We can talk forever.
Just talking. Yes. Because we family. Oh my God.
Yes, we definitely have to have you guys back. I'm thinking that next time we have you back, perhaps we can do a dish or something live.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
I want to make sure as we wrap up that your Sunday show, is that on your Facebook page?
It is. It's on Facebook Live every Sunday Eastern Time. Indulge Catering LLC. It's on Facebook. We want you to tune in. We do also have a YouTube channel. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. I try to upload them up to YouTube as well. And because this is social media, the more subscribers you have, you can become monetized and go live on YouTube as well. And, you know, hopefully, who knows what's in the cards? Maybe we get picked up by a network.
Hey, sounds good to me. Precious and Jay, we so enjoy you, so love you, and thank you so much for being on More Than I Do podcast.
Yes,
thank you. I just want to say one more thing. I so forgot. As you're going through our website, please support our I Fund Women of Color campaign. We are scaling our Indulgent Essential Spices. We have won 2 beautiful, well, we've won a couple of grants, thank goodness. But we've won 2 beautiful grants, one from Caress and the other one from American Express Business.
Wow.
And they have funded us on the I Fund Women platform. So every bit of money that you send to us goes to us. And we're looking to scale and become domestic and international condiment shippers of our barbecue sauces and spices. So donate. The links is on our bio and on our page, please.
All right. You better put it in the atmosphere.
That's it.
This has been Queen Precious Jewel and Jay Zabrinsky White with Indulge Catering LLC, Best Caterer of 2020 in the Durham Magazine's Reader Choice Awards 2020 edition.
Yeah.
We love you. We're going to say bye to you right now, but not bye forever, because you now are, I think we're just going to make you our official personal chefs for the More Than I Do show. I think that's just
Thank you.
You heard it here first, folks.
Okay.
It's happening. It's happening. We'll talk to you and see you later.
Bye. Thank you.
Take care.
Take care.
Now, we thank you so much for watching or listening to More Than I Do podcast today. We've had on Indulge Catering LLC with Precious Jewel and Jay Zabrinsky White. And we've had such a good time. You've had a good time?
I had a great time. You know, it's interesting when you talk to other couples in business, some of the similarities and some of the differences. And so I was super excited to learn about their lives.
Tell me about it. You know, More Than I Do is just that, more than I do.
That is it.
We don't know everything. We have something to say, but we know you also may have something to say. Are you a married couple or just couple in business? What do they need to do?
Then they need to go to the morethanIdo.life site and sign up and connect with us and let's chat. And maybe we'll bring you on and we have some conversations like this again with you.
We love to have conversations with you. Or if you just want to know what's happening and stay in the know and be the first to know the different things that are happening, also go to the site and sign up and subscribe.
That's it.
All right. I think we have done it.
Okay.
Another show, season 2,
Season
episode
2.
1 in the books.
Give me some.
All right. All right. Until next time, we'll talk to you soon.
I'm Derek.
I'm Sherelle.
And this is the More Than I Do live podcast.
This
Take it.
episode is sponsored by
My Local CFO, helping you build stronger growth by connecting your financial picture to your operational goals. Follow them on Facebook and LinkedIn at My Local CFO or visit their website at www.mylocalcfo.com.